Welcome to Mortgages and More, your go-to podcast for the latest insights in the mortgage industry. Join us as we dive into expert advice, unveil actionable tips, and learn how to empower the next generation of homebuyers. Get ready to elevate your knowledge and make those property dreams a reality. Let's get started. We're back. That's right. It's another day in January. 33 and 33, 30 and 30. You're seeing way too much of us, and we apologize for that. But, Brian, what I will not apologize is for the guests that we have today.
Right on. I before we hit record, I was sharing that Scott and I do this once a week minimally, where we get to nerd out on all things, mortgage and real estate finance marketing. And so when we were compiling our experts for the book, right at the top of the list, is it related to specifically AI and how loan officers should be thinking about the different AI tools? Scott Schang was the guy. He was like number one on my list. Scott, thank you so much for volunteering, I think is what the word is.
I didn't feel forced. So yeah, I think I volunteered.
There you go. Well, thank you so much. And welcome to, as Kyle said, our 30 and 30 episode. So without giving away the chapter, we want people to come in and kind of really dig into it. Maybe tease out a little bit of what you wrote about in your chapter of the book.
Okay, so the title of my chapter is Welcome to the AI Multiverse.
Whoa.
And what I really am trying to, I got sucked into AI. Like it took a second for me to get it. And then when I got it, I went deep on not only just the how to use it, but really the philosophical existence of it and what it represented. And but when I started using it, I used it like a search engine. I asked it questions and it gave me answers, and I was like, oh wow, it's talking to me like a person. It's not giving me a list of search results. This is really cool. And then I scratched deeper, and that's what my chapter is about. I'm going to talk to you about the multiverse and how to do multi-step prompting to really, really turn it into something that 99% of your competitors won't do.
Whoa, love it. And when you say AI, because it means a lot of things, right?
Yeah.
And, what are we, at its core, what are we really talking about in your mind?
So primarily it's ChatGPT, but everything else you see out there is what they call wrappers. It's something that uses ChatGPT to power it.
Yeah.
Most of them are ChatGPT. It was the earliest. It's the most advanced. But the difference is all of these things like Jasper and all of these other programs, they kind of write the prompts for you, so you don't have to get it to do. But what it also does is it creates a consistently mediocre output. Yeah. And so I'm going to show you how to kind of not be afraid of it and go in there and really, really draw out what you want to get out of it. And quite frankly, what it does for me is it helps me, it gives me a perspective and a depth of understanding that maybe I didn't have going into it.
Super interesting.
Brian, this is our first guest that I'm slightly afraid to ask the second question to.
I know.
Because of the vastness of this conversation.
Uh-oh.
But I guess it's time to go there.
It is time. So we only gave you one chapter, Scott.
Yeah.
And I know for a fact that you've got so much other stuff kind of cooking in your head. What do you wish you had more pages to write about that didn't make the book?
Oh boy. Where I'm really at with this tool is a deep and kind of a philosophical understanding of it and what it actually is and what it actually represents. And that kind of includes understanding what it's good at and what it's not good at. for me, it's a neural network. It's like a human brain. It's an algorithm that's designed to process information and context like a human brain. So I think of it as really a mirror of your imagination. And literally anything you can think of, if you can explain it, if you can describe it, it's the first opportunity, at least as creatives. A lot of times, especially entrepreneurs, we have these great ideas and we're like, oh man, I wonder if this is going to work. Well, you can go in there and you can bounce your brain off of this thing, and it will give you a perspective on your own thought process that you just simply can't do on your own. We spend so much time in the trees that you never get to see the forest. Well, this thing is a mirror for my imagination. Anything that I can think of, I can run it against it and it'll say, no, you're thinking about this wrong. And it doesn't say you're thinking about it wrong. It reflects back to me the way that I'm thinking. And then I'm like, actually, I want to think about it in this way. I want to take this angle. Tell me more about this. So I get really, really deep into sort of the philosophical and the psychological, the aspects of the tool, because it's really not a tool. I honestly think that it's the most important thing since the printing press and the invention of the internet. It has fundamentally changed the way that human beings will engage with the world's information. It created a global consciousness.
So, Scott, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Because I, like, in all my time working inside of ChatGPT, right, it only computes back as good as we give it.
That's correct.
And so can you share with us like one or two specific prompts that you've really found kind of unlock that next level of AI that just the typical person that's like using it to help me write social media or an email, what's that prompt that we can start practicing today?
Well, Kyle, I think that's where most people go with it. They want somebody to hand them a prompt, but it's really not a prompt. It's how you approach it. And I don't want to give away too much about what I'm talking about, but think of it this way, that what most people don't do is give it context, right? They just ask it to give me an answer. So here's a perfect example, and this isn't in my chapter, but this is a good example. Say you wanted to, if you're like me, I hate writing about myself, right? So I hate writing bios. So you can go to ChatGPT and you can say to have it write you a bio. But first, you ask it to act as a biographer and give you a list of 10 questions about your personal and professional life that will give it enough information to write a biography about you. Wow. And then it'll give you the questions. And then what gets really cool is you use the phone app and you use the microphone and you just answer the questions, you dictate the answers. Now it has your personality, it has your inflection, it has the words you use, and now it fully understands you. And so now you've given it context. Wow. And so now it can take that context and it can mimic you in a way that'll frighten you.
So, Brian, I was just thinking, man, I can't wait to read Scott's chapter.
Oh, I know.
But then I thought, I have it. He's already sent it to us.
I sent it.
Yes, you do.
So we get to read it before everybody else does. Man, Scott, I'm continually blown away when I talk to people that understand AI at a deeper level than the rest of us. And I think it's easy to say that this will be one of the most profound chapters in the book because it's the newest thing that we now have at our fingertips, and it's basically free. And so it's such an honor, man, to have your brain as a part of this thing, because it's absolutely elevating what we're doing. And so thanks so much for being a part of this with us.
No, you're very kind. And it's a real pleasure. I appreciate you asking. And I can't wait until the book comes out. I'm excited to read it. I've seen all the other authors. This is going to be fantastic.
We'll try to do something dumber tomorrow, guys. See you then.